The House will come to order. Members will be at their seats. The clerk has opened the roll and you may record your presence. Please rise and give your attention to our guest chaplain, Pastor Everett Schultz of the First Mennonite Church in Pretty Prairie, guest of Representative Sywert, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Representative Sywert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you join me in prayer? Our Father in heaven, we come before you this morning thanking you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon our great nation and upon this great state of Kansas. I want to thank you that this great state still opens each session of this House with prayer. Your word tells us that where two or three are gathered together in your name, there you are in the midst of them. So I thank you that you are with us in this house right now. I come before you today to ask your wisdom and guidance to be given to these people in this great hall. There are so many issues that need to be addressed, and probably at times these people feel that the problems are too complex to be resolved. The decisions they make will affect our children and our grandchildren, and yet I know that you can provide the wisdom and guidance to solve the needs of this state and provide a better state for years to come. Father, your word says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Therefore, Father, I ask that you give wisdom and understanding. I pray that they will be able to make decisions that meet the needs of this great state, not only for us today, but also for our children and grandchildren. Father, please bestow your wisdom upon these people, give them encouragement, give them guidance, help them to be able to discern the right decisions. Keep them from buckling to the pressure that is all around them. Help them to represent the people who elected them, and to look out for the people's interest when there may be times when it is difficult to stay the course. During the remaining days of this year's session, I ask for your encouragement, your wisdom, and your guidance to direct decisions that are made. May their decisions be made according to your will. I ask this in thy name. Amen.
Has every member had an opportunity to record their presence? The clerk will close the roll and record the attendance. The Speaker recognizes Representative Garber on a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. On March 14th of last year, I presented the Sabetha Blue Jay football team on the House floor. The team was recognized for winning their third state championship in November of 2017. At the same time, Elliott Strom was congratulated for winning an individual wrestling title. Sabetha fans had enjoyed quite a successful athletic season. We could have never have imagined what would happen from that day in March 2018 until the end of the 2018 football season. In May, our student athletes won state in golf and baseball. The girls 4x800 relay took home a gold medal at the state track and field tournament. Not to be outdone by the athletes on the gridiron or diamond or track, the FFA Rituals team also won first place at state. When the school year began in September of 2018, everyone knew we had a good football team. But could we win another state championship? Football team proved that we could. They went 13-0 and ended the season with a thrilling 43-42 overtime victory over Pratt. Today I'm recognizing some of the players and coaches of the 2018 baseball team and 2018 back-to-back state football champions. Many of the players and coaches, as well as family members, are up in the gallery. Anyone who plays a team sport knows it takes everyone on the team. So before I mention the accomplishments of the individuals on the floor, I want to thank all the players and coaches in the gallery and on the floor for the thrilling moments you brought to our lives. First of all, the 2018 state baseball champions. Quite an accomplishment. They were a 7th seed going into the tournament, and they beat the 1, 2, and 3 seeds. They never trailed in a game in the month of May. Team on-base percentage of .514. They were state champions in the second year of our program. Individual honors were Gabe Garber, Sports in Kansas 2018 3A Co-Player of the Year. If you would raise your hand when I call your name. Also, First Team All-State 3A Outfield. Blake Fry, First Team All-State 3A Outfield. Braden Becker, First Team All-State 3A Pitcher. Brandon Brownlee, Second Team All-State Catcher. Joe Gruber, Second Team All-State Infield. Seth Burdick, Honorable Mention All-State Infield. Riley Herman, Honorable Mention All-State Outfield. Braden Augerbright, starting and winning pitcher of the state championship game. And Aaron Fry was awarded 3A Coach of the Year. The assistant coaches were Garrett Michael and present today in the gallery, Doug Garrett. 2017 and 18 back-to-back state football champions. Team accomplishments, 13-0, 26-1 in the last 2 years. First back-to-back state championship in Big 7 league history. 20 consecutive game winning streak, the longest current win streak in 11-man football. And Big 7 league champions. Individual honors go to Elliott Strom, Sports in Kansas, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and top 11 defensive lineman for all classes. Coy Roki, Sports in Kansas, Co-Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All-State 3A linebacker. Braden Cox, First Team All-State 3A kicker and defensive back. Joe Gruber, First Team All-State 3A punter. Camden Brownlee, Honorable Mention All-State 3A defensive lineman. Gabe Garber, Honorable Mention All-State 3A linebacker. And Garrett Michael was awarded Coach of the Year for all classes. The assistant coaches for the football team were Aaron Fry, and present today in the gallery, Nathan Bauman, Alex McAfee, Caleb Moeller, and Josh Wertenberger. I'm going to pass out some awards, and then we can stand and applaud them. Mr. Speaker, I ask that my words will be spread across the journal.
Objection? So ordered.
Congratulations to the Sabetha High School championship teams.
Speaker recognizes Representative Hibbard on a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. I have with me today the Eureka High School Tornado State Champion Wrestling Team. This past summer, on June 26th, a tornado hit the southwest corner of Eureka and made a path to the northeast corner of town where it hit the Eureka High School facility. At daylight the next morning, I was at the command post and I ran into my legislative friend, Eric Smith, from a neighboring county who had spent the night securing the area and accounting for those who were trapped and missed. He told me to hop in. We'd take a tour. And when we got to the high school area, the thing that hit me the hardest was a sign hanging limply on a destroyed grandstand that said, "Welcome to Tornado Alley." And it was evident that the football field, the track, and the second gymnasium were damaged beyond repair. When football season started for these boys some 2 months later, every game was an away game. And they had to find a place to practice that wasn't contaminated by the glass and nails and debris of the tornado. The boys won a few games, and I know they were very excited to start wrestling practice in the part of the facility that was not damaged. As the year went on, success came to them, and they won their own prestigious Eureka Invitational Wrestling Tournament. And then they finished first with a high score in the Fredonia Regional Tournament. But there were still skeptics who wondered if they could keep up with those good Western Kansas schools who had dominated 3-2 and 1A wrestling for decades. During the first day of the state tournament, every one of the qualifiers scored points, and we commanded a large lead over Colby. And on the second day, continued to be successful, winning, going away. This was the first time that a school east of Wichita and Salina and south of Topeka had ever won the state 1, 2, and 3 wrestling championship. At this time, I'd like to introduce the wrestlers who participated in the state tournament, and they all scored points. At 105 pounds, freshman Connor Booth Hughes, raise your hand, okay. At 113 pounds, 3 times state champion Kendall Bates. And at 122 times state champion Colby Bates. And yes, if you remember, I introduced these twin brothers on the floor last season. At 138 pounds, sophomore Brennan Lowe, who won his first state championship. And at 152 pounds, sophomore Brett Escarino, who finished second. At 160 pounds, we had Garrison Spoots, and in the heavyweight division, Jonathan Turner. And these boys all contributed to the combined total. They're accompanied by their coaches, Mike Davidson, Tyler Lowe, and Chase Ropst. The rest of the Eureka wrestlers are in the balcony, and I ask you to join me in recognizing the 3-2 and 1A state wrestling team for 2019, the Eureka Tornadoes. Mr. Speaker, I'd like my remarks spread across the journal.
Without objection, so ordered. Speaker recognizes Representative Victors on a point of personal privilege.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 2 years ago, I recognized Nico Hernandez on the House floor for winning a bronze medal at the 2016 Olympic Games. In the 2 years following that visit, he has gone undefeated as a professional fighter with a current record of 7 wins and no losses. Nico is the International Boxing Association national and world champion. And he just had his 7th professional fight aired live on national television. He has brought some of the largest and biggest promoters in the sport of boxing here to our great state of Kansas. And he will be fighting once again on May 18th at Century 2 in Wichita. I am a supportive fan of Nico, and I also attend the boxing matches, and if you ever get a chance, please do. He will not disappoint you. Nico is not only a champion in the ring, he is also a champion outside of the ring. He has recently agreed to serve as Grand Marshal for the inaugural year of the Wichita Chisholm Trail Marathon. That's this weekend. The purpose of this first-year marathon is to foster a premier regional sporting event that magnifies the culture of Kansas, while runners and community come together to make a sizable donation to the United Way of the Plains. The Wichita Chisholm Trail Marathon will be held on March 24th in the heart of downtown Wichita and will be one of the fastest and flattest qualifying courses for the Boston and New York marathons, as well as the Olympic trials. Joining Nico today are race director Michael Langston and his wife Amanda, as well as their 3 children, Tate, Parker, and Rose. On this side of me, I have Nico's family with me, his mother, his father, his manager, and his fiance. They would all like to thank the great state of Kansas for your shared community support, and they look forward to bringing even greater sporting events to our great state in years to come. Let's give Nico Hernandez a round of applause, and I'd like my words to be spread across the journal. Thank you.
Without objection, so ordered. Body, I would also note that Nico has agreed to take on a role as the official enforcer of the 5-minute time limit on points of personal privilege. Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill number 2400 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning food products, enacting Consumer Protection Act.
Messages from the governor. The clerk will read.
House Bill number 2001 has been signed. It was approved March 14, 2019. Laura Kelly, Governor.
Senate Bill 40 appears on the consent calendar for the first day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the second day. Senate Bill 41 appears on the consent calendar for the first day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the second day. Senate Bill 59 appears on the consent calendar for the first day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the second day. House Bill 2188 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. Senate Bill 193 appears on the consent calendar for the second day. Is there objection? Seeing none, it will remain on the consent calendar for the third day. Senate Bill 61 appears on the consent calendar for the third day. Is there objection? There is objection.
It's not on there.
Senate Bill 61 will be placed on general orders. Are there announcements? Speaker recognizes Representative Ballard.
Speaker Pro Tem, and good morning to all of you. I am here to just remind you that we're going to have a party with the House, and that is Wednesday, March the 20th. So on behalf of Speaker Pro Tem Finch and myself, would certainly like to ask you to attend. Live music, casino room, dancing for those of you who wish to dance. Cocktails and hors d'oeuvres will be served. We'll be at the Brownstone, and I have heard from many people that the Brownstone is absolutely a beautiful place and very appropriate for us to be. Again, it's on Wednesday. There will be a shuttle service from the Ramada Inn. So if you think you're going to get lost or you don't want to drive, you have the shuttle service and the Senate suites that will be provided there as well. We try to do this at least once a year where we get together and have a good time and put our differences aside for a little bit and just enjoy each other. I've helped with this for a long time, and so has the Republican Party, and we are very pleased that this year we took it up a notch. So I hope you will come, and don't say, I don't dance. You don't have to dance. You don't have to sing. You don't have to do any of those things. Just come and enjoy each other. Thank you so very much.
Representative Brett Parker will replace Representative Stan Fraunfelter on the House Insurance Committee on Monday, March 18, 2019 only. Speaker recognizes Representative Horn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Democrats, just a reminder, today at noon in 218 North, that's 218 North, we will have our Ranking Democrats luncheon. Thanks.
Speaker recognizes Representative Schreiber.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I know it's only middle of March, but I want you to mark a date on your calendars for May 1st. That's the first day we come back for veto session. And on that date, that evening, we will conduct our 29th annual shrimp peel for Kansas Special Olympics. For those that haven't been part of that before, it's a great evening of fellowship and food and a few beverages, and all the proceeds from the silent and live auction go to Kansas Special Olympics. You'll hear more about this through the next couple of weeks, but be thinking about something to bring back from your district for the silent or live auction, and then proceeds will go to Kansas Special Olympics. Thanks again. Remember, May 1st. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, Speaker recognizes Majority Leader Hawkins for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House adjourn until Tuesday, March 19th at 11 a.m.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.